I work at a local Burger King in my California city. A few nights ago, I was assigned to the closing shift, which runs from 4 p.m. until 11 p.m. It's a relatively short shift, but it happens to be the busiest time of the day. Not only do we face a rush of customers, but also some rather unusual characters tend to show up after sunset. This is the story of the most strangely disturbing encounter I've had during my time at that Burger King in California. It was approximately half an hour until closing time. At this point, the late-night crowd begins to thin out, giving us an opportunity to close down a few booths and get a head start on cleaning before closing. As the minutes ticked away, the restaurant grew quieter and quieter, and it seemed like we might actually get to leave at a reasonable hour, a prospect that excited all of us. You see, we don't receive overtime pay, and we're only compensated for 17 minutes after closing. This policy is in place to discourage us from slacking off and trying to earn a few extra bucks by performing unnecessary work after hours. So, as I was saying, it was around half an hour before closing when I noticed a man approaching the clear glass double doors of the restaurant. He opened one door and used a hoop to prop it open, then repeated the process with the other door, leaving both sets of doors wide open, as if he were anticipating a crowd. However, only one person arrived, and she was quite the spectacle. This woman was riding a mobility scooter, or more accurately, she was overflowing from it. I don't intend to be unkind, but it's a fact that she was a sight that was difficult to overlook. Her weight must have been upwards of 500 pounds, and her size was such that she required an oxygen tank attached to her scooter. A clear plastic tube ran from the tank up to her nostrils. She maneuvered her way to the counter with the assistance of her companion, and he proceeded to place an order for her. This order turned out to be the single largest order I'd ever taken during my tenure at that Burger King. It was even more enormous than the order placed by the intoxicated fraternity boys who once came in on a Friday night. The total for this order was just shy of $170, and it took our entire staff about 25 minutes to prepare. To put that in perspective, our average serving time during that period was around 8 minutes for a complete bag of meals, so this order was exceptionally time-consuming. But that was just the beginning of the ordeal. She scooted over to a table with her companion, who then proceeded to feed her nearly the entire order in about 12 minutes. It was genuinely nauseating. I couldn't decide which was worse, witnessing the entire scene unfold or watching the man derive apparent pleasure from creating an enormous mess while feeding her. By the time they left, there were French fries and ranch dressing strewn across the floor, smeared all over the red leather of the booth. Many fries had been crushed underfoot, necessitating a vigorous scrubbing of the plastic tiles to get them cleaned up. This added a significant amount of extra time to our cleanup process. However, the most unsettling part of the whole experience was how enthusiastically they engaged in this feeding ritual. It was deeply concerning to witness how the woman seemed to be speeding towards an early grave while seemingly deriving enjoyment from it. Thank you for joining us for this journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Goodbye.